Woke up this morning and into a little bit of rain. Wasn't too strong. I don't know if you can kind of see the sort of just wisping out there. Not much yet. Not much anymore anyway. But yeah, it's really chilly this morning. But the rain is largely stopped, so hopefully, it'll at least stop until the sun comes up and it gets warmer. The sun gets up higher and it gets warmer. So I don't get too chilled in the rain. Anyway, so my first night out after, the incident was good. The bear box back there. I think maybe you can see it. I think I showed it yesterday when I came into camp. Just had all my stuff in there, and it worked out well. I didn't hear anything banging around or coming around. If it did, it just took off. And so yeah, I just tented right out in front here, and there were no issues. Didn't hear much of anything, so it was very nice. And I look forward to more nights like that, less nights like the other night. So today, long day. I've got 18 some miles to get to the next shelter because I don't want to camp. Well, there's not a shelter out here since I need to be close to a bear box in this area. So yeah, 18 some miles to the next shelter. Should be some really cool things to see today though, so hopefully I'll get some good video. All right, finally coming out of the woods after a long morning of climbing. I'm hiking here with Sunflower. Hi, Sunflower. And the views are opening up behind us incredibly as we head up towards Buzzard Rock, which I have been told is awesome place that I have to stop and spend a little time. So, when I get up there, I'll take some pictures of the view. Boulders and big rocks and stuff laying all around. So. Alright, well, the wind's blowing like crazy, and you see the dark clouds there, so I know I'm climbing more, and a little concerned about getting caught on the ridge in a storm, so I'm just going to move fast as possible and try to get past all this now. Now that right there is a good water source. A lot of the springs are just barely trickling out, and you have to kind of play around to try to get enough water to get going, but boy, that one is dumping. Okay, let me figure out where I'm going here, get back on the trail the right way. Yeah. So anyway, it's still have incredible views off there as I'm walking along. It is cold though. I mean, cold enough just from working with the water. My hands are red and freezing. I couldn't hardly make them work to get the cap off the bottle. So who thought, it'd be this cold in May or June in Virginia. So I just crossed through the Elk Garden area, just a little recreation area. And now I'm getting ready to head out. I've got another 10 miles to do today, so I've got quite a lot to do. And Grayson Highlands is coming up, which is supposed to be a really neat area. So, yeah, I'll get through that. And it's been kind of a fun morning. So this young lady that I mentioned, Sunflower, so we've crossed paths a couple of times on the trail, but today, which is what usually happens, you're just doing your own thing, and so, you might see each other and talk for 5 minutes and then take off. But today, we just both happen to be hiking at the same time in the same direction, and this is her last day on trail. And she's going home, so her cousin's coming to pick her up. So that's as far as she's going today. So it was nice. We had a couple hours to just kind of talk along the trail, and you know, just makes time go fast, and nice little different thing in the day. And she's really nice and fun to talk to. And come to find out, she also has an architecture degree. So we had a little to talk about there too. So anyway, it was fun to hike with you, Sunflower. Now I cannot wait to get to Grayson Highlands and see what all the buzz is about. There's some pretty big cows just right here by the trail, but I guess they must be docile. That's what we're gonna find out, aren't we? They're probably used to people wandering through their pasture. This one looks like not all that happy, but I don't know. I'm gonna try this on, see what happens. Hey buddy, you just keep eating. Giving me the stare down, huh? Haven't been around too many cows in my life. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be worried at all. It's been good climbing for a while here. This is nice. There's quite a bit of elevation to climb, but it's really gradual, so it's just been pretty nice, nice and easy. There was a big, long, just pretty flat horizontal stretch, which is great because my hands are so cold, and I couldn't hardly, I certainly couldn't work this camera. I tried to turn it on, and I couldn't even do it, but I walked through this little campground thing and tried to throw away some trash, and I couldn't work the little lever to keep the bears out. So anyway, but on that flat stretch, get back to what I was talking about. On that flat stretch, I just tucked my poles under my arm and tucked my hands into my armpits, walked along for about 20 minutes, and now they feel great. They function again, so it's all good. You know, I mean, it'd be ridiculous in June to be carrying gloves out here, you know. I don't need that extra weight. And chances were about, you know, 0.1% I would ever need them. But today's one of those days I potentially could use them. But, you know, I've got an extra pair of socks in my pack. Always, you know, it's just good emergency preparedness to have those there. Not only for your feet, but also to double as gloves if you need to. I've got a couple extra Ziplocs, so, you know, not like I'm worried about it. First of all, I think I just keep my hands moving and stuff. Tuck in my armpits occasionally if I really need to, I'll be fine. But if, you know, worst comes to worst, I can always put those socks on, put some Ziplocs over them, and go that way for the rest of the day. So I don't think I'll need to do that. Getting closer to Grayson Highlands. Hey, getting ready to come out of the woods. Not sure exactly where I'm at yet, but wow, this is cool. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I'm sure there's some incredible views over there, but it's all clouded. And over there too, but actually it's really neat to, I mean, I've seen so many great views on this trip. It's kind of neat to see it this way. Wow, fantastic. Well, I'm getting closer and closer to Grayson Highlands, and this is what it looks like. This is what I've been in now for quite a while. A couple hours maybe, hour and a half. I stopped by Thomas Knob Shelter. It's gonna just warm up just a bit and warm up my hands. There was a whole big family there, and they were very nice. They had some hot water on, and I didn't drink anything. I didn't need it, but they let me hold on to that pot and warm up my hands. Whoa, look at this. 500 miles, I totally forgot. But I saw that this morning. This is the 500 mile mark. Yeah. So again, as I've already said, I've done a lot more than 500 miles, but I've done the whole stretch up to 500 miles here. And by the end of the week, I will have connected all these sections, and I'll be way more than 500. So anyway, that's cool to come across. Anyway, they let me just hang on to that pot of hot water and warm up my hands a little. But that didn't last long. Get back out here and they're freezing, so I've resorted to, I've just got my shirt pulled down and just wrapped over my hand to kind of keep it. I mean, they're still pretty cold, but you know, at least they won't be frostbitten or anything. They're not getting the exposure of the wind and all that. So anyway, it's all good. This has been a pretty interesting terrain here. I mean, just tons of rocks, and I would have videoed back there. I really wanted to. There's these huge rock formations, but I mean, you can't see anything. So, you know, I had to be like literally standing on them to see them, and then you know, there's nothing to video. So anyway, making my way. I probably have another 4 miles to go. Maybe a little less. All right, well, I made it to Grayson Highlands State Park. Not too much further to my shelter for the night. So yeah, this is just a map of the whole thing. You can kind of see this is where I actually came from, right over here, right down this white thing. I just crossed this dotted line, and I am right there where that scratched out spot is. So I'll be following the rest of the white line through, so you can see what a very small little portion of Grayson Highlands I'm actually gonna see. There's a lot going on in here, and I've heard wonderful things about it all over in this park. So something I think I need to come back for one of these days when I'm not hiking the AT. So anyway, there's a cardinal way off there in the distance. Yeah, I'm just gonna follow the trail through and kind of see whatever I see. It's an interesting bench location there, and this is something that's kind of cool. There are these wild ponies in the park, and you know, I have no idea, since it's rainy and cold today, if I'll actually see any of them. I've heard that they sometimes will gather around the shelters and even outside of the park, so you know, I may have already missed some. But anyway, it's one of the big draws, but I kind of suspect I may not see them today. If they have half a brain, they will be hiding somewhere warm. But I'm hoping they don't have half a brain. The day has actually, just in the last hour, has actually warmed up a little. And when I say warmed up a little, I don't mean warm. I mean, it might be 5 degrees warmer, but the difference is on my fingers, you know, is it's just cold. Before, an hour ago, 2 hours ago, man, I just couldn't even have my hands exposed. I was just walking without my trekking poles, had my hands in my pockets or kind of tucked up because it was just too cold, and they were starting to turn white, so not a good thing. So anyway, but they feel a lot better now. So hopefully it stays a little warmer like this. That's not one of the best bridges I've ever seen, but I guess it's gonna be okay. All right, I'm gonna get a little water. Only 2/10 of a mile to the shelter. Looking forward to some food and a warm sleeping bag.